What's going on, guys? Thanks for watching. Keep calm and game on. In this episode, we're reacting to some more news stuff that's going on around the world. The video that we're watching right now is called President Trump Stops by Meeting with U.S. Ambassadors. We're just going to hit the play button and react in real time.
We're going to have a little session today on the ambassadors.
So feel free to drop some comments if you are watching this live. Oops, wrong button. Wrong button. I'm almost hitting the wrong buttons here. I'm gonna make this a little smaller real quick. I'm gonna open up Steam so we can kind of look at video games while we watch Trump do his thing. So here we go.
About the country that they're going to. They might say a little bit about themselves also, because people are very interested in that. We're also going to sign right now some executive orders, and will
some executive orders.
I'll start thinking about signing them, right?
There we go. Some more executive orders being signed. That's cool.
First, we have a pardon for Devin Archer. Devin Archer was a former business partner of the Biden family. He's was prosecuted relating to a fraud investigation, but notably the tone and tenor of that prosecution changed dramatically after he began to cooperate with congressional investigators and serve as a witness against Hunter Biden and the Biden family. We believe that was an injustice. Therefore, we're asking you to pardon him.
And many people have asked me to do this. I think he was treated very unfairly.
With live chat.
And I looked at the records, studied the records, and he was a victim of a crime, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't think I've seen this particular video.
Undo that.
And because these videos are kind of long, we're also going to be scrolling through on the right-hand side of the screen and seeing what games are on sale on Steam. Because this is also a gaming channel, so we're killing two birds with one stone.
Congratulations, Devin.
Next, sir, we have a presidential memorandum for your attention. This memorandum requires the immediate declassification of all FBI files relating to the Crossfire Hurricane investigation. This was obviously one of the
declassification. Interesting. Crossfire Hurricane, which
the prosecution against you and others. We believe that it's long past time for the American people to have a full and complete understanding of what exactly is in
I like
those
transparency.
files.
Yeah. I like transparency. Let's go.
Right to go in and check it. You probably won't bother because you're not going to like what you see.
The crazy thing is, Biden never did any of this stuff. Like he was
in this country. But now
I don't think Biden knew he was president.
All declassified.
He probably knew he was president some of the time, but not the entire time.
Yes, sir.
Everything?
The FBI file with there's a classified annex, but other than that, this we'll put everything in the public.
Think about getting The Hobbit, guys. It's only $3. It looks kind of fun.
Is anybody going to look? What about you? You going to look?
Looks kind of fun. I don't know.
And frankly,
what do you guys
the
think?
FBI should be ashamed of themselves, and so should the Department of Justice, and so should Biden. Okay?
Next, sir, we have an executive order for your attention. We've taken action against a number of law firms that have participated either in the weaponization of government, the weaponization of the legal system for political ends, or have otherwise engaged
I'll put it in my shopping cart.
Appropriate activities. The law firm of Jenner and Block is one of these law firms. This is a law firm that, as you know,
For just popping in, guys, we are reacting to stuff that's happened today in the news. Trump is signing some more executive orders.
Invidious, racially and sexually discriminatory
stopped by the U.S. ambassadors meeting, I guess, that was going on.
Against American principles.
I don't know if he just showed up and he just started signing stuff, or if he was supposed to be there. I don't know.
And Andrew Weissman.
But we're reacting live.
He's certainly
with respect to this firm.
Are you guys fans of Trump? Let me know in the comment section. We're also going to open this up to everybody. So I'm going to turn on public chat so anybody can leave a comment and say what you want to say. So that is now open for everyone.
Okay.
Melissa, how you doing? Welcome back, Melissa. Welcome back.
Next, sir, we have an executive order for your attention relating actually to government payments. Historically, checks issued by the Treasury are, I believe, 14 times more
Thank you for the like.
To become the subject of fraud than electronic transfer payments. This is an executive order that's going to push the Treasury Department to modernize its payment system to ensure that where possible they're using electronic methods of payment as opposed to paper checks in order to
That's
reduce
good, right?
waste, fraud, and abuse in the government, which is obviously an endeavor that we've been pursuing in numerous aspects
Nice,
of government
nice.
under your leadership.
It's basically modernization of equipment and methods, and it's something that really I think he's going to be a great Secretary of the Treasury wanted, Scott, and so we're doing this, and we have other modernization programs.
The Clone
going
Wars is
on. We
also
could let
on
somebody
sale.
else, whoever's next, whoever that may be, do it, but it's something that should have been done 25, 30 years ago.
That's also, I'm going to add that to my wish list as well. If you're just joining us, we're watching Trump. I'm at his press conference briefing thing with the ambassadors earlier today, and we're looking through the Steam sales we got
On
going
similar
as well.
lines, sir, this is an executive
We're
order.
multitasking.
We're calling it Protecting America's Bank Account. The basic idea here is that instead of having lots of different departments and agencies and offices issuing payment, often without justification, often without any provided rationale, we're going to be centraling payment processes where possible in the Department of the Treasury.
Nice,
and ensuring that
nice.
measures are taken in Treasury against waste, fraud, and abuse to ensure that money that's leaving the public Treasury is as protected as it possibly can be.
All right, good.
Cool beans. Very nice, very nice.
Many of these things should have taken place decades ago.
But they didn't. But they're happening now. Better late than never, right?
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order for your attention on the very important subject of election integrity. We believe that this executive order
Election
is
integrity.
the
Let's go,
farthest reaching
boys.
executive action taken in the history of the Republic to secure our elections. Among numerous other aspects of this executive order, this is going to cut down on illegal immigrants on the voter rolls, ensure that the Department of Homeland Security and the data that they have available is being fully weaponized to ensure that illegal immigrants aren't voting. This will include a citizenship question on the federal voting form for the first time.
Okay.
This executive order instructs the EAC.
If you're not
to
a
cut,
legal
federal
citizen, you
funding
should
to
not be able
states
to vote.
that
Am
don't
I the only
take
one that thinks
reasonable
that?
steps to secure their election.
I can't be the
This
only one
calls
that
on
thinks
the
that.
Department of Justice to vigorously prosecute.
Let me know in the
election
comment
crimes,
section.
particularly in states that we don't believe are in
Do you think if you're
compliance
here
with federal
illegally,
law
you should be able to
around
vote?
election
I don't.
integrity? I could go on and on for a while.
I don't. I'm
sir,
sure I'm
but,
not the only one that thinks that either.
compliance with national
There's gotta be some
election
other
day
people out there
rules,
that think that.
cracking down and investigating and prosecuting foreign interference in our elections, revoking President Biden's Executive Order 14019, which essentially weaponized government to corrupt and pollute our election process. There's a lot in here, but we believe that these are very important steps that we need to be taking as an administration at your direction to ensure that our elections are as secure as they possibly can be.
Okay, you all understand that? Yes. Election fraud.
We don't like election fraud, boys. We don't like it. We don't like it.
Ended, hopefully.
Make it paper ballots. Make it, you
This will
know,
go a long way
one day
toward
voting for
ending
everybody.
the
Make it a
other
national
steps that
holiday.
We will be taking in the coming weeks.
Other countries
We
vote
think
in
we'll
one
be
day.
able to end up getting fair elections.
Paper ballots. That's what we need.
Some people think I shouldn't
And it would be cheaper.
because we won in a landslide, but we got to straighten out our election. This country is so sick because of the election, the fake elections and the bad elections, and we're going to straighten it out one way or the other.
We're going to straighten it out, boys. Straightening it out. Trump. Trump, let's go.
It's an honor to sign this one.
Getting it done,
Sign all
son.
of them, but to sign this one is a great
We don't mess
honor.
around, Charlie Brown. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Creepy, you still drinking that Kool-Aid? I'm loving that Kool-Aid, bro.
Thank you very
We
much.
should drink some too.
So
Tastes
we're
pretty
gonna
good.
go around the room a little bit quickly, and we're going to introduce these very outstanding people. They've
It
had,
tastes pretty good, man. Welcome to the stream,
in
Creeper.
all cases, outstanding careers. They're very incredible people that going along as rapidly as the system can go along. We're ahead of, I guess, anybody else thus far. So I want to thank John Thune.
His cabinet members are about to get charged. What are they about to get charged with?
He's done a very good job, and the whole Senate. We're being delayed as much as possible by Democrats, but that's standard. It gets to be just standard. But the process is moving along very
Is this about the like the leaked messages between like JD Vance and Hegseth? Is that the thing they're talking about, or what?
Quickly, so Sergio, just say hello, and then we'll introduce everybody.
Absolutely. Sergio Gorham, Director of Presidential Personnel. It's been an absolute pleasure again to know every one of you every step this way. As the President said, we're at a record pace. We have more nominees today in front of the Senate than at any previous point, over 70, and that's a record in 2 months.
A record.
We're proud of that, and we're determined to
A record.
ensure the world has
It's a record,
diversity
boys.
in all of our posts.
Tulsi, what did Tulsi Gabbard do? What?
Charles Kushner. I'm going to.
Oh, is Tulsi Gabbard in that chat too?
And I'm proud to serve under the greatest president of our country. Very proud to serve.
Thank you.
I don't think anything's gonna happen.
James Blair, honored to work here in the White House as Deputy Chief of Staff.
They still were
Mr.
able to
President,
complete
I
the
think
mission.
that all of these successful people would want to go
So you know.
serve the United States under your leadership as a testament.
And now
to
they
your vision
know
of leadership.
don't chat on, I guess, Signal, the Signal app. I don't know if that's like a secure app or what.
It's my honor to represent President Trump, people of America, represent our interests and values.
But I mean, Hillary Clinton had a server in her closet,
Leah
and
Campos. I'm going to represent
apparently
the
nobody cared about
President
that,
of the Dominican Republic.
right?
Mr. President, thank you for the honor.
She didn't get charged with anything for that.
Thank you.
But oh, somebody sent some messages on.
National Security Advisor, look forward
It's
to working
stupid.
with every one of you on behalf of
Double
the President,
standard.
his leadership, and the American
Thank you.
people.
John Arrigo, I am going to the Republic of Portugal, and I'm very excited to do so and serve what I consider one of
Portugal.
my closest friends and one of the best.
You guys ever been to
presidents
Portugal?
This country has ever had. Thank you.
Kevin Cabrera, nominated to be Ambassador to Panama, and it truly is an honor, President, to be part of your administration.
Thank you.
Tom Barak, nominee to the Republic of Turkey. Delighted and honored.
So these
to
are
be
all
with
the
you,
U.S.
President of the
ambassadors.
host country,
Okay.
which is one of the most ancient in civilization, is
Yeah.
in search for your peace, prosperity, and security program. Thank
Good
you.
place.
Mr. President,
Good leader, too.
yeah, Mr. President, thank you. It's an honor. I'm Pete Hookster, you know that, but I am going to Canada. I look forward to serving you in Canada and your agenda.
Going to Canada. So that he's our Canadian U.S. ambassador. That guy that was just talking.
Thank you for the nomination to represent you and the United States to the United.
For those of you
Mexican
watching, guys, you
States.
think Trump is
And
doing a
I'm
good
really
job?
encouraged
We're
by
tuning
some of the
into
conversations you've had with
all the different
President
news stories that have happened
recently,
recently.
and to the increase in support that we've seen of her government along our border on the important issues. So thank you, sir.
They have stepped it up a lot,
Yes.
Mexico and Canada, so see how it works, right?
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Do me a favor, hit
Matt
that
Whitaker from
like
Des Moines,
button as
Iowa.
well.
I'm proud to, as soon
I'm
as
gonna
I'm
like this video
confirmed,
on there.
go represent you at
This
the
is the
North
White
Atlantic
House
Treaty
news
Organization.
feed.
Thank you.
George Glass on my way to Japan. Previous administration, I served for you in Portugal. It is a great honor to be able to do this a second time. And
Thank you very
for
much.
the opportunity.
Thank you, Judge.
Nice,
President Trump,
nice.
My name is Ken Howery. I'm your nominee to be Ambassador to the Kingdom of Denmark, a very close partner and ally. I
Of
served for you
Denmark.
Last time for the Kingdom of Sweden. I want to thank you for the faith you place in me as your nominee to Denmark.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
President Trump,
Denmark.
thank you for the honor of a lifetime. My name is Stacy Feinberg, and hopefully I'll have the honor of serving in Luxembourg. And I think this is the
That
greatest
is a
presidency
big
and the
table,
greatest
guys.
Time in history. And
That is
all
a
because of
very, very large table.
Nicole McGraw, nominated to serve in Croatia, and it's such an honor to be here with you today and to serve you and the American people.
Thank you. Thank
And that is a lot of news
President
reporters,
Trump,
too.
thank you very much for your
Did
nomination
Biden ever
for
do
the
these
public
things?
utility.
Biden ever
Let me
let
say-
news
tell you,
reporters into
border
the
agents are so
conference
thankful for everything
meetings?
that you've done for them, but
That
it's
man
great.
knows more about the border than anybody. I'm going to tell you. Thank you.
President's a great honor. Thank you.
Thanks.
Nice, nice.
Mr. President, Brian Birch, if I'm confirmed, I'll be representing you at the Holy See. And Catholics are very proud of your work. Your team is doing an excellent job, so thank you. Very honored to serve.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, thank you again for the honor, the greatest privilege. My name is Summer Sparkus. I will serve this great.
Real quick, I asked in the chat, is Trump doing a good job at the U.S. border? 33% say yes, 67% say no. So chime in on that poll if you guys want to give some feedback.
Man at the Republic of Malta. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Joe Popolo from Dallas, Texas. Very proud to serve you at the Kingdom of the Netherlands, the very first country to recognize the United States 250 years ago. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, if I'm confirmed, I will be representing you in the state of Israel. It will be an extraordinary honor.
The state of
And
Israel,
you've
okay.
done more for Israel than any president in any time. of its history, and we are grateful.
Was that Mike
I'm
Huckabee?
hoping I'll get to be there by Passover.
Thank you, Mike. And
Yeah, that's Mike Huckabee.
Is,
I like
an
Mike
outstanding
Huckabee.
Guy. They all are. Mike, I think he's going to do wonders for Israel. He actually probably gets along with both sides, and that'll be interesting to see. But the world is watching you, Mike, so good luck.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Good luck. You're going to do well. Thank you very much.
Mr. President,
I think we got some
thank
good
you for this
people.
Great honor to serve the Republic of Italy and San Marino. I'm so looking forward to going over there and working with that great ally, and for the pleasure to serve you. Your staff has been great working with us and have done a great job, and we really appreciate them. Thank you, sir,
Thank
for
you.
pushing this along.
And have a good time. A really good time.
I'm Warren Stevens from Little Rock, Arkansas, and I have the honor to represent the President and the United States in Great Britain and Northern
Great
Ireland.
Britain.
And
Jima
to be chosen to
Flatterson,
go
right or
to such an
wrong,
important
have never
ally.
seen one do what he said he'd do.
I know through enough
Oh, a president?
Looking forward to it, but thank
Yeah,
you
I
for
mean,
the
Trump does what he says he's going
You're
to
gonna
do.
fantastically. These are
So that's something, right?
tremendously successful people, and
Whether you agree with him or not,
you two
what
guys
he
and
says he's
you
going to do, he
and on
does.
Mike, I think they have a little more money than Mike.
Other presidents, not so much. They promise things, then they get elected, and they just don't do it.
Upstairs, he's got some
Trump
big
does it.
advantages.
Yeah, he does.
It's very exciting.
That's what
It's
makes
really
Trump
exciting
different,
to
but
have
you're
all
right,
of you.
man.
Would you have any
Gma
questions
6'7".
maybe, for the people
Thanks for the
that
comment,
you
man.
just saw?
We are reading your comments live, so if you got comments,
outstanding,
guys,
I
if
thought
you
it would
got
be nice to bring them
something you want to say,
before
feel
you.
free.
So if you have any questions, please.
Yes, I'm 58, been around a little while, yeah. So you've probably seen quite a few presidents come and go then. And I'm only 33, but it seems like Trump actually does what he says he's going to do.
So we made a lot of progress on two fronts.
People might not
on
like
both,
it. They might not
sections
like the
of,
way he goes about
call them
doing it
sections, but
sometimes.
they're much more than that.
But he does
Russia,
it.
Ukraine,
He follows
and
through.
also the Middle East, and we'll see what happens. We're in deep discussions with Russia and Ukraine, and I would say it's going well, but it's a situation we should have never had to even think about. Should have never happened. And on the Middle East,
Do you guys
that's been
think
going on for
Russia would have
lot of
invaded
years.
Ukraine if Trump
Centuries
would
and
have
centuries, it just
got a
keeps
second
going.
term?
And we are making a lot of progress.
The second time he ran? I don't think Putin would have invaded.
Detailed talks are going on right now on both fronts.
I don't think it would have
Mr.
invaded.
President, you said that your national security advisor learned a lesson after a
Wait a minute,
reporter.
excuse me, I didn't make you. Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, the ceasefire agreement that was brokered today.
Did you see that? It was the one lady from CNN, and she started talking, and Trump's like, "Yo, I didn't pick you. I didn't ask you." Next person. That's good.
Allows for third-party countries to help implement the agreement. What does that look like, and who's...
You're chill. There is a jumpy, progressive guy. He's exhausting. You mean on YouTube or in the chat?
The ceasefire agreement?
Yes, the maritime ceasefire agreement.
Yeah, I'm pretty chill. I mean,
between
I'm
Russia
definitely
and Ukraine.
pro-Trump.
Well, they're going to get together.
I am a fan of Trump. I voted for him 3 times.
They agreed to
But-
something, and it got broken. There's tremendous animosity. There's a lot of hatred.
Try to be chill
as
for
you
the
can
most part. I just
probably
think.
tell. And it allows for people to get together.
I just think having
mediate
secure
and
borders is a
arbitrate
good
and see
thing.
if we can
I
get
think
it
trying
stopped,
to
and I
stop
think it will.
wars
It'll get stopped.
is a good thing. I think trying to improve the economy and bring jobs
Other
back,
countries
factories
involved,
back,
and they're involved very
you know,
strongly
putting
in the
America first, I think
process,
that's a
and,
good thing.
that'll
It just seems
that'll
like it's
be
common sense
resolved.
trying to bring crime down,
Actually, as bad as it is, that's the least of the problems.
trying to balance
So,
the budget, trying to cut
that
wasteful
we'll
spending.
get that resolved, and we are being aided by other countries.
Trump is
too.
funny.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Like Trump is like one of the biggest trolls out there. Trump isn't afraid to troll people.
For NPR and PBS. Now, every Republican president has always promised to take away this money that's going to these two public news outlets.
Presidents should have a sense of humor, I think. Sploger, how you doing? How do you feel about the U.S. joint, the Commonwealth?
Would you be interested in defunding and taking away
What do you mean, man?
taxpayer dollars to NPR and PBS?
Well, I would love to do that. I think it's very unfair. It's been very biased for the whole group. I mean, the whole group of
The
them.
government shouldn't be funding news
And,
networks.
frankly,
Simple as
there's plenty
that.
of- Look at all the media you have right now. There's plenty of coverage. I was from a different age, and they spend more money than any other network of its type ever conceived. So
And
the kind of
Splode, you're
money that's
welcome
being
to the stream,
wasted,
man.
and
You've been here before,
it's a
right?
very biased view.
I think you've been
You
here
know
before.
that better than anybody. And I'd be honored to.
If you're just popping in, guys,
see
we are
that.
reacting to different
We're
news
well
stories.
covered.
Right
Look
now,
at all
we're
the
watching
people that we
President
have here
Trump.
today.
He's
We're well
talking to
covered,
the
and we
different
don't
U.S.
need it,
ambassadors,
and it's a waste
sitting
of
at the
money.
very large
Especially,
table.
I don't even know what
The big
Doge's
table, the big
recommendation is.
one.
I assume their recommendation is to close them up.
Well, after they hear
So
all
we're
the
reacting to
testimony,
that,
I think
reading your
they're
guys'
gonna make a
comments.
decision relatively sooner than later.
Yeah.
So if you're
But
watching for the
we'll
first
see what
time,
that turns
drop a
out.
comment.
I can't imagine that they wouldn't, because they have found.
Yeah, he
so
seems
much
a lot.
waste,
He seems like
fraud,
he's
and
mellowed
abuse,
out a lot from the first time he
hundreds
was
of
in
billions
office.
of dollars, and just waste, fraud, abuse. You heard yesterday.
They've really hit the ground
some of
running
the
too.
things that
He picked a
were
lot of good people to be in his
found.
cabinet.
22 billion just in environment. Billion.
I think the
You know, if
first
you had
time
22
around,
million, Warren, it
he
would
didn't
be
really know what he was
nice,
doing, but they still got a lot
22
done.
billion
But this time, he
put
kind of
into
knows who
environmental accounts.
the people
One
are
was
that are
2
just
billion
kind
into
of
one account,
wolves in
Stacey
sheep
Abrams,
clothing. He
where they
knows
had
who the good
$100
people
in the
are,
account. And just
and he
before I
kind of
came
knows
in,
what
they
his
put
agenda
$2
is and what he
billion
wants to do during this
and,
term.
You guys are looking, so you being
For the first
2 million,
time,
or
you know,
maybe
it's kind of a learning
200,000,
process, but he kind of knows how it works
$2
now.
billion Put in the account. What do you think of that, Mike? Do you think that's a straight deal? $2 billion?
Just write me the check, Mr. President.
It's a horrible thing, and we have so many of those things. So they've done an incredible job, and the country wants to hear it. I think Doge is actually very popular because of what's happening. They're hearing about all of
Doge.
these
We got any
scams
Doge fans
and
out there?
big,
Any
big
Elon
money.
Musk fans?
Tremendous amount. And when you add it up, just
Smash that
hundreds of
thumbs
billions
up
of
button if you're a
dollars
Doge fan.
wasted.
You think Doge
And
is
much
doing a
of
good
it's
job.
fraud. You know, we talk about waste, and it is waste and abuse, but a lot of it's fraud.
Can I
too.
follow up on something?
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
I just want to follow up on that. If Planned Parenthood is defunded, would you look into the harvesting of baby organs that they've done throughout the years and maybe go after some criminal prosecution on that?
Well, I think you're talking about a subject that is a heated subject, and we'll look into it. We're going to look into everything, but that's certainly a subject that's been debated for a long time, and we will look into it, yeah.
Mr. President,
We're gonna look into it all.
Some senators have expressed
Look
hope
into
that
everything.
The White House will support a rescission package to codify some of the Doge cuts into law. Where does the White House stand on that? And are you making progress?
The which
on
package?
A rescission package to codify some of the Doge cuts into law.
You know what? It would be great. I think we're going to do that. I think they're going to do it. I think we're also going to be codifying a lot of the executive orders that we've done, which have been very popular. And we're looking at one, I will tell you right now, that I think perhaps will be controversial, but not with the people, and that's sanctuary cities. We're going to end sanctuary cities.
Ending
for,
sanctuary
some of
cities.
these
Yo.
jurisdictions that aren't cooperating
That's a
with
big one.
law enforcement. They're guarding criminals. They're
That's a big
taking
one.
the rights away from the citizens of this state and their city. And we're going to be ending sanctuary cities if we find it necessary to do in certain major areas. And we may just end the entire thing altogether because it's just a way of protecting criminals. And nobody else is benefited by that. And for some reason, Democrats want to keep and they want to shield criminals from being sent back to their countries or being sent to prison. And in the meantime, the crime rate has gone through the roof. Under Biden, it was through the roof. It's starting to
Through
come
the
down,
roof,
but we're taking
boys.
a lot of people out of here. So we may
Through the roof.
be presenting you very shortly with a executive order ending sanctuary cities.
Mr. President, are you going to change any of the practices that your national security officials used after a reporter was inadvertently added to a group chat about attacks on Yemen?
Well, I think it's a question I've been asked now, and I've given a few answers, and they've all been the same. We have an amazing group. Our national security now is stronger than it's ever been. We have had a very, very successful, numerous attacks on that area. These are people that shoot down ships, not only our ships, ships all over the world. They're shooting down right out of the water and damaging them badly, or they're going down. They're also shooting anything that happens to be flying in the area. We hit them very, very hard. There was no classified information. As
This
I
game looks
understand
kinda
it.
fun.
They used a app, if you want to call it an app, that a lot of people use, a lot of people in government use, a lot of people in the media use. And I think I'll ask Mike. Mike is here. Do you want to respond to that, please?
Yes, Mr. President, you asked about lessons. I think there's a lot of journalists in this city who have made big names for themselves making up lies about
Making up
this
lies.
president,
No
whether
more
it's
lies, boys.
Russia hoax or making up lies about
Stuck in Cali till the grandkids a little older. Do not let Newsom near anything.
Gold Star
I'm not a fan of
families,
Newsom,
and
man.
This one in particular, I've never met.
Or as
don't
Trump
know,
says, new scum.
Never communicated with.
Not a fan of
and
new
we
scum.
and we are looking into and reviewing how the heck he got.
Is the
into this
crime
room, but I'll
pretty
tell you
bad
what,
in California,
the world
man?
owes President Trump a favor. Under Biden, global shipping was shut down. Pinprick attacks, months between them, our destroyers being fired upon dozens of times. President Trump took decisive action with his national security team, took out the head missileer, knocked out missiles, knocked out headquarters, knocked out communication sites, and for
Knocked
once,
them all out.
we hear, as you will all hear from every one of our allies, thank God for American leadership again. Thank God for American strength. You're welcome, Lord.
Yeah, boys. Yeah, boys. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
National security team that was coordinating these
I think we got a
efforts,
great
as Director
national security
Radcliffe
team.
Testified today. His first day on the job, he was introduced to this app on his government systems at the CIA and at the State Department and otherwise. So, look, this journalist, Mr. President, wants the world talking about more hoaxes and this kind of nonsense rather than the freedom that you're enabling. And a key part of our sovereignty is open sea lanes and knocking the crap out of terrorists, which is exactly what your team and Pete Hegseth, a good friend and fellow
Poe
veteran,
Collector, welcome
is
back,
leading
man.
charge on, and it's an honor
We
to
had
be
a
part of
very,
that.
very successful, excuse me, we had a very,
Trump
very
the best.
successful
Yeah.
evening, and we've had numerous successful evenings and days in that area. The Houthis are absolutely on the run. The worst of them has been killed.
Welcome back, Poe Collector.
This
You've been here
should have
before,
done a
man.
long
Welcome
time
back.
ago by Biden, but Biden was an incompetent president. He couldn't do anything. He didn't know where he was going. He had no clue. This guy had
No
no clue. This
clue.
should have been
I
done
agree
a
with
long
that.
time ago. As
Biden
they,
had
shoot
no
missiles
clue.
at ships, randomly shoot missiles at ships, and they make their own missiles. You know, this is not an incompetent group of people. They make their own missiles. They get the missiles also from Iran. It's an offshoot of Iran, another offshoot. You have Hamas, you have Hezbollah, you have the Houthis. You got a lot of stuff going on with Iran. And we sent a letter to Iran. You're going to have to be speaking to us one way or the other pretty soon because we can't let this happen. But that's an app that a lot of people use. And somebody got on. I mean, I happen to know the guy's a total sleazebag. The Atlantic is a failed magazine. Does very
Failed
poorly.
magazine.
Nobody gives a damn about it. This gives it a little bit of a shot. And I will tell you this: that they've made up more stories, and they're just a failing magazine. The public understands that.
He's
He's
just
a very
calling
good
out
man.
this
that
news
man
network.
Is a very good man right there that you criticize so strongly.
Did he make a mistake?
He's a very good man, and he will continue to do a good job. In addition to him, we had very good people in that meeting, and those people have done a very, very effective job, and you're going to see it. And it goes on, by the way. It's going to go on. And I think the Houthis wish that it didn't happen, but that's what it's all about. We have to create a safe country, a safe world, and that's what we're doing.
What's happening in the Red Sea with just pirates taking over cargo ships, we got to stop that. We got to stop it. And that's what we're doing. We're getting it done.
National security was put at risk, Mr.
We're
President.
getting it done, son.
Using signal
Do I
moving
plan to
forward.
ban who?
The use of signal to communicate from senior officials.
Well, I don't know I don't know anything about Signal. I wasn't involved in this, but I just heard about it. And I hear it's used by a lot of groups. It's used by the media a lot. It's used by a lot of the military, and I think successfully. But sometimes somebody can get onto those things. That's one of the prices you pay when you're not sitting in the situation room with no phones on, which is always the best, frankly. But the best is to be there. In fact, oftentimes I've been in fact, just last week I was in the situation room with something very important, and we had a couple of people hooked up by line, and I said, cancel the line. Sorry, fellas, what you do is we'll tell you all about the meeting, because I know people do get on those lines, whether it's Signal or anything else. Yeah.
So are you going to change any procedures as a result of this?
Well, I mean, look, we look at everything, and you know they've made a big deal out of this because we've had 2 perfect months. We're bringing
the media makes a big deal about anything.
Announced tomorrow, a big
Any
one,
chance
very
they
big.
get to trash
Like,
Trump,
in the history
they
of our
take it.
country, nobody's ever seen
They don't
anything
point out
like
the
it.
good
And I
stuff that
think
Trump's
probably
doing.
a lot of people
They
are
just
saying it's-
nitpick, and then they
started by
focus
saying it
on
was the
one
greatest
little
first
thing that
month
happened.
that a president has ever had, and I think that's true. And now they say it's the best second month, and they had to find something. And this certainly will look at this, but the main thing was nothing happened. The attack was totally successful. It was, I guess, from what I understand, took place during, and it wasn't classified information. So this was not classified. Now, if it's classified information, it's probably a little bit different. But I always say you have to learn from every experience. I think it was very unfair the way they attacked Michael. He's a good person. The person that was on just happens to be a sleazebag, so maybe that's just coincidence. I don't know.
But you are
They act like what he says is more important than what he gets done. Yeah.
President, would it be a problem if the Atlantic released all the text messages if they're not classified?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to ask the military about that because, you know, maybe you wouldn't want that. I don't know.
Gregory Stevens says Trump's ego is outrageous. It's hilarious how triggered he gets.
Will say this, that from what I heard...
Yeah, he's got a big ego, but
the man
he
that we're
also doesn't
talking
like
about
to
who's,
fail. So if he says he's going to
not
do
somebody
something,
that I don't think most people
he's going to
have
do
ever
everything he
heard
can
of.
to actually do
He
it.
left,
Because he does have a
found
big
it very
ego.
boring, and he left early. He got off the line very early.
And I don't think that's a bad
So,
thing. If he
I
says he's
can't
going to
speak
seal up
to
the
it other
border,
than that. So
he's going to
made
seal
up
up the
a lot
border
of
because he has a
stories,
big ego.
and, you know, I think he's basically
If he says he
bad
can
for
get the war
country, but
stopped, he's going to do
it's,
everything he can to get
it's
the
a
war
failing
stopped because he doesn't
country,
want to
very
look bad.
failing
He doesn't
country.
want
They're very upset.
to get that hit to his ego, so
And,
he's going
a
to
thing
do
like
everything he
this
can
is
to get the
publicity
war
for them,
stopped.
but I don't think we should allow people that are very good like that man.
But people don't
sitting right
focus
at the end
on
of the table who's done a
the
great
good stuff,
job.
like, oh, we
We
might
shouldn't
stop this
allow them
war,
to be
or we
hurt
sealed
by
up the
it.
border. They're just like, Trump's got a big ego.
Can I follow up on that?
Trump
Are
said
you-
this.
are you
He
saying
sent a
you're
mean
okay
tweet.
with the continued use of Signal by administration
No,
officials for
that's not what I
sensitive?
said. I said we'll look into it, but everybody else seems to be using it. It seems to be the number one
Exactly.
used device or app, whatever you want to call it, and we will certainly look. If it was up to me, everybody would be sitting in a room together. The room would have solid lead walls and a lead ceiling and a lead floor. But, you know, life doesn't always let you do that. In the meantime, the attack itself that we were talking about and discussing has been an unbelievable success.
But you will conduct an investigation, is what you're saying into this.
We'll look into it, sure.
Who's going to lead
I would
that
look into it,
investigation?
sure. I want to
Is
look
that
into
the FBI? Or
anything
who would
like
do
that. I would ask them. It's not really an FBI thing. It's really something having to do with security. Security, like will somebody
gonna look into
be
it,
able to
guys.
break
Don't you
in?
worry.
Are people able to break into conversations?
We're gonna look into it.
And if that's true, we're going to have to find some other form of device. And I think that's something that we may have to do.
Any other
Some
person would have
people
solid
like
coverage of
Signal
no
very
wars.
much.
Exactly.
Other people probably don't. But we'll look into it.
And I'm pretty sure the Biden administration used the same Signal app, but reporters weren't complaining about that.
I think, Michael, I've asked you to...
Or maybe they didn't use the
immediately
app. Maybe they
study
didn't
that.
communicate with each other at all, and that's why the last administration sucked so much, because they didn't talk to each other. And that's why they pulled out of Iraq in such a bad way, because nobody was communicating.
And again, the person that was on, as I understand it,
Or if they were communicating badly, and that's why we gave up.
I think it's
Oh,
something
man.
you should look into.
Yes, sir, we are. We have our technical
We're cleaning the
experts
mess up,
looking
though.
at
We're
it.
getting
We
it cleaned
have,
up.
Our legal teams looking at it, and of course, we're going to keep everything as secure as possible. No one in your national security team would ever put anyone in danger, and as you've said, and we've repeatedly said, the attack was phenomenal and it's ongoing. But the media wants to talk about everything else except for the hostages you're getting out of the Middle East, Iran on its back.
This guy knows what he's talking
Sea lanes
about.
getting reopened, peace in Europe. As we just saw today with a Black Sea ceasefire, we were just on with Steve Witkoff, myself, our team in Saudi Arabia. They want to talk about all this other stuff except for your amazing successes and the successes of your team.
One of the other things, and sometimes you have to move very quickly, and there are other devices that are very good, but they are very,
Do me a favor,
very
guys. Smash
cumbersome,
that
and you're
thumbs
not
up
able to
button.
use them, and,
Let's get this
from
stream
a
up to the
practical
top.
standpoint. So,
Tell the YouTube
all
algorithm
we can do
you
is
enjoy
find out
this
the
so
best
we can
have
reach
with
more
modern
people.
Technology. They'll probably get better over the years. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir,
Longest
on
4
the
years
last
of your
season, the
life?
president
Yeah.
has said
Biden,
there were
that was a
several
long 4 years,
conditions
man.
that would need to be met
That
for
felt
this
like 8
agreement
years.
to happen. This includes sanction relief for banks and some companies. Did the U.S. agree to all of those conditions that they laid out?
They will be looking at them, and we're thinking about all of them right now. There are about 5 or 6 conditions. We're looking at all of them.
Why Mr. President that it's looking into how a journalist got added to that signal chat? Is it possible that there could be a firing of even a lower mid-level official once that person is identified?
About what?
About the signal chat that we've been discussing.
We've pretty much looked into it. It's pretty simple, to be honest. It's not. It's just something that can happen. It can happen. You can even prepare for it. It can happen. Sometimes people are hooked in, and you don't know they're hooked in. They're hooked into your line, and they don't even mean bad by it. But it's not a perfect technology. There is no perfect technology. The really good ones are very cumbersome, very hard to access. And I think we're going to look at, we always want to use the best technology. This was the best technology for the moment. But again, it wasn't classified, so they probably viewed it as being something that wasn't that important. And it obviously, with the attack being, I mean, I don't know if it's been read out to you yet, but that attack was a tremendous success for the U.S.
Tremendous success. Tremendous. But they don't talk about that.
Do you think that Mike Waltz made a mistake, and does he need to apologize?
No, I don't think he should apologize. I think he's doing his best. It's equipment and technology that's not perfect, and probably he won't be using it again, at least not in the very near future. What do you think?
Sir, I agree with you. Let's get everybody in the room whenever possible.
A lot of times you find out defects by exactly things like that, but I don't think it's something we're looking forward to using again. We may be forced to use it. You may be in a situation where you need speed as opposed to gross safety, and you may be forced to use it, but generally speaking, I think we probably won't be using it very much.
Mr. President, the Secretary of Defense, on that chain, the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, and J.D. Vance, the Vice President, said that the Europeans were freeloading. Do you agree with that assessment?
Do you really want me to answer that? Yeah,
Oh,
I think
boy.
we've been freeloading. The European Union's been absolutely terrible to us on trade, terrible. And as you know, NATO, I got them to pay hundreds of billions of dollars. They were way behind. And if you look if you look at Ukraine, so we're in for $350 billion because of Biden. Should have never happened, this war. All these dead people should not be dead. All these broken cities that are demolished down to the ground, those gorgeous towers, the most beautiful in the world, the most beautiful spires in the world. The spires in Ukraine were said to be the most beautiful of all. Just about every one of them is lying on its side in a million pieces. It's so sad to see what's happened to a heritage. No, I think that when they say the European Union and you could say NATO also. Look, NATO, and I don't blame NATO for this. I don't blame Europe for this. I blame Biden for the fact that he didn't make them equalize. And to this day, I said to him, "You got to catch up. You got to equalize."
Catch up,
Why
Biden.
are they in for $100 billion and
Catch
we're in
up.
for possibly $350 billion? It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. And
How
you
does
could
any
say
sane person disagree?
more
I don't know,
important to
man.
them because
It's the same reason you got people on the left burning Teslas. Yeah, they think it's a good idea, apparently. Doesn't make sense.
we have an ocean in between. So, you know, it's
Does not make
it's one of those
sense.
things. You'll be
No, no,
seeing
no,
Liberation Day. I call it Liberation Day in America. You're going to be seeing it on April 2nd. Didn't want to do it on April 1st for the
April
obvious
2nd's
reasons.
coming,
April
boys.
2nd.
That's when the big
But you'll,
tariffs start
be
hitting.
seeing
It's
tariffs,
gonna be
and
interesting.
I think I've been very fair. I have them set.
It's gonna be
But
real
I think
interesting.
I've been very fair to countries that have really abused us economically for many, many decades.
Mr. President, who told you that information was not classified? Which of your national security advisors
Just
told you
following
that?
up on your comments on the economy, there is reporting that consumer confidence fell for the 4th straight month. What is your message to Americans who are concerned
Well,
about
I know this, that for the first time in like 50 years, right track, wrong track, we were on the right track. And I think people
We're on the
see
right
that.
track,
And,
boys.
if you look
The
at
right
prices,
track.
prices are way down. You know, when I first came here, the first
Real quick, in the chat, I asked the question, is Trump doing a good job at the border? 50% say yes, 50% say no. Very interesting.
Time I met with you people officially, they were screaming at me about eggs. I said, I've been here for a week and I'm being yelled at about eggs. Egg prices have come down 45, 50% in the last week and a half. And our Secretary of Agriculture has done a great job, as you know, Brooke. She's done a fantastic job, and others working with her have done a great job. But we brought eggs down at a level that nobody thought we could get at. I inherited that situation, and I inherited a grocery situation. The groceries went way up, an old-fashioned word, but it's a very descriptive word. Groceries have gone through the roof. And I used to campaign on it. I used to say, we're going to get groceries down, and we have got it down. I watched a certain newscast over the weekend, and a congressman, Democrat congressman, said, well, Trump's done a lot. I agree. He's been great on the border. He's been great on the military. But, you know, he hasn't brought prices down. That's false.
We're getting the prices down, boys. We're getting it down.
Eggs are way down. Groceries are down.
One step at a time, boys.
But down. Almost everything's down. Now,
They didn't complain
I'd like to
about it
see
during
interest
Biden,
rates
though.
come
It
down
took
a
them
little
4
bit.
years to realize grocery
And
prices were
we'll see
high.
Billions of dollars, even trillions
Yeah.
of dollars coming into our country very soon in the form of tariffs, because we were abused by presidents that, frankly, in all fairness, it wasn't their expertise, but they had no idea what they were doing.
Mr. President, you say tariffs will create more jobs here in America.
Oh,
so
yeah, sure.
which
So
states?
It'll create a lot of money and more jobs. But if you look, so
Here's
when
the thing, guys, with the tariffs, people are going to start building their companies here in America because they don't want to have that super high tariff when they ship stuff in. So it's going to make more sense to just make stuff here as opposed to making it outside of America. And if they make it here, the factories and whatnot, they're going to need people to work at the factories. That creates jobs. I think Hyundai is making a car plant in Louisiana that's going to employ like 8,000 people, and they're planning on investing like $20 billion over the next 4 years. And that's because of the tariffs that are going on. Apple has put in a lot of money that they're going to be investing in America, and they're going to start making plants here. It's all coming back, boys. What is wrong with America? How you doing, man? How you doing? Welcome to the stream.
These gentlemen would know about it, and ladies, because some of the ladies are great businessmen in this room that are becoming ambassadors.
Maga.
Great, really great, top of the line. When you look at the number of companies that have said, like we're close to, I would say close to $4 trillion. We never had numbers like that. The number one chip maker in the world from
You're going to see, guys. April 2nd's coming. You're going to see what happens. You're going to see what happens.
Apple. Look at
It might
Apple.
get a little messy at first, but in the long run, it's going to be better.
$500 billion. They're going to build plants all over the United States. They were all being built in China. You have many, many companies, and maybe above all, you have the car companies coming in at levels that nobody's ever seen before. We have Honda is opening up one of the biggest plants in the world in Indiana, and many car companies are coming in. We have AI. We're leading China by a lot in AI, and we're going to keep it that way because we've made it very good for them, and we're going to protect them once they're here. We'll protect them through taxes, through incentives, and also through tariffs. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much.
So there you go, guys. That was President Trump talking about a lot of different topics, like he usually does. We're going to just look at what's going on in the news. See if we can pull up some more stuff. What else we got here? What else we got? Let's go to I don't know, what's a good news story to watch, guys? There's deals to be made before the second. True. A lot of deals. A lot of deals happening. Senator grills Gabbard on Signal chat leak. Show the texts now. BlackRock. And we got the astronauts back. Nobody talks about the fact that Elon got the 2 astronauts back that were in space for 9 months. Instead, they just want to burn his cars, but they don't say anything about the astronauts that got back. Peter Ducey reports new details on officials'
Yeah,
mistaken text to
eBay.
journalists.
If you're still watching ads in 2025,
I'm still
you're
watching
doing
ads.
something wrong.
I'm definitely still watching
if
ads.
you're tired of being bombarded
Okay, come on,
with
refresh this. I don't want to watch this ad.
Partner?
Well,
There we go.
Partner, I like it. We gotta have Florida Fridays.
What is this? Is the Rifleman with Chuck Connors?
Rifleman. I like your style, Lawrence Jones.
Really? Thank you. Okay, Haas.
All right.
Government
well,
fraud
DOJ is still chipping
crackdown.
away
We're
at
cracking
government waste,
down,
and Attorney
boys.
General Pam Bondi has a message
Oh, we cracking
for anyone
down,
caught committing
boys.
government fraud.
If
You
you're
will
brand new to the
be
channel,
prosecuted.
drop a
So Peter
comment
Ducey is
down
live at the
below.
White House. Peter, your day started early.
Yeah, good morning. And officials here have been dozing long enough that they are starting to distinguish between government waste and government fraud.
There is a tremendous amount of fraud, and Elon, thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your team. You have uncovered so much fraud in our government, and we will prosecute you. We have an internal task force now working with every agency sitting here at this table, and if you've committed fraud, we're coming after you.
And not everything is fraud. Some of these big government contracts are real head scratchers, though.
Real head scratchers. Scratchers.
Worth of contracts.
Thank you for the
$2
likes, by the way,
billion
guys.
Going to this NGO that Stacey Abrams was tied to. They received only $100 in 2023. And then the Biden administration gave them $2 billion.
$2 billion?
The director of the Greenhouse Gas Reduction
Biden,
Fund
what are you doing, Biden?
saw
What
his
you been
former
doing,
employer
Biden?
get $5 billion.
Crazy.
So $20 billion went to just 8 NGOs.
We didn't even know there was going to be a cabinet meeting yesterday, but it wound up being a chance for the gathered secretaries to brag about cuts they're making in front of the big boss, President Trump.
Case of fraud was with the Small Business Administration, where they were handing out loans,
There's my boy Elon.
loans to people under the age of 11. I think the youngest, Kelly, was a 9-month-old who got a $100,000 loan. That's a very precocious baby we're talking about here.
Babies getting small business loans. That is
Small
something
business
the
loans for the
president
babies.
is trying to wind down. Back to you.
It's just
Hey,
ridiculous.
Peter, before you go, the number one story everybody's talking about from the White House is, and it's a headline in the New York Post, Trump team accidentally added lefty editor to secret text group planning Yemeni raids. What are people saying? Do you have any scoop today?
Well,
Do we
they
got
did
any
promise
scoops,
to be
Peter
the most
Ducey?
transparent White House ever, right? I guess adding a
Most
journalist
transparent.
to a group chat like that would be consistent with that promise.
I don't think that's what they meant.
Right. But I have heard that Mike Waltz is telling people that he has no idea how this happened. He has never met Jeffrey Goldberg. He has never spoken to Jeffrey Goldberg. So if the story is that Jeffrey Goldberg is invited by Michael Waltz to this group that the NSC says is a real chat group, they looked at it. They said this is a thread that they think is all legitimate. Pete Hegseth, though, claims that there were no war plans shared. But Mike Waltz says he has no idea how this happened. And he is saying that Signal, the encrypted messaging app, is allowed at various government agencies. And we looked it up. There is guidance for highly targeted individuals to use end-to-end encrypted.
You know, some mistakes are going to
software like
happen.
this, free apps, Signal, WhatsApp, to try to avoid being hacked.
Right.
So
wow, Peter, that's fascinating. So you're saying that you have learned it's okay for government officials to be using Signal?
Yeah, we pulled a quote. If you give me 1 second, I have it in my email here from the CISA guidance, and part of it says, adopt a free messaging application for secure communications that guarantees end-to-end encryption. They want that for highly targeted individuals, and they say, while no single solution eliminates all risks, implementing these best practices significantly enhances protection. So.
Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting.
That
moving
is
the
very
story forward.
interesting. Yeah.
So
And it is worth. It's also worth. We've been asking everybody about this. I have heard from a different senior administration official that they are denying these reports that Waltz is on the chopping block. So.
Also, guys, real quick, in the chat, I asked the question, are eggs getting cheaper? 100% of the people that voted say yes. We have one vote. So vote on that poll in the chat.
And that's what I was going to ask you about, because the Wall Street, Politico says half the president's advisors say that Waltz is in trouble. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that President Trump is angry at him. But at the same time, a bunch of Democrats want the president to fire Waltz over this. But given the
Of course
fact
they
that
want him to
Democrats
fire
want it,
Waltz.
that's probably job
They're
security
Democrats.
for
Why
Mike
wouldn't they
Waltz,
want them to
'cause the
fire
last thing
something?
he wants to do is
The
cage
guy
the
could
Democrats.
the guy could sneeze and forget to say excuse me,
Jeffrey
and they'd be
Goldberg
like,
is
fire
somebody
that guy.
President Trump and his senior advisors do not like. They are not big fans.
Technology
of the
topped
reporting
at paper
that he's done
texting.
about President Trump over the last couple of years, and so.
But yeah, if somebody on Trump's cabinet
raised
could
some questions
sneeze
last
and
night
forget to
about,
say excuse
why
me,
would
and they'd be
Mike
like,
Waltz
fire that guy.
have
How
his
dare he
phone
fire him?
number in his phone
Security
at all
breach,
for
fire
Jeffrey
that guy.
Goldberg,
Doesn't
because
deserve to be
you need
here.
to have the digits in there to
Stupid.
invite somebody to a Signal chat. But he is saying that they've never spoken and they have never met. So that
Peter-
is the story on the first day of this probe, which
Peter, I totally hear you on Jeffrey Goldberg. I mean, I was press secretary with the Suckers and Losers story. I immediately found a dozen sources to discredit his reporting. I was sitting here with you guys with the Vanessa Guillen reporting, which was discredited by Ben Williamson, Mark Meadows, among others. NSC, though, to their credit, they own this, Peter. They said this is an authentic chain. They did not try to deny it. But my question here, I mean, Jeffrey Goldberg, I watched him last night. He intimates that his name popped up as JG in the Signal chat. I would think, and Lawrence Jones is like a Signal expert
Biden
over
didn't
here.
fire
JG,
anybody
if it
ever.
pops up as such in the chat.
Exactly.
You gotta be in
It didn't
someone's
matter if they sucked
clue.
at their
Who
job.
is that?
Biden kept them around.
JG, I don't know.
He
Do you
probably
guys
didn't even know he
understand
hired him in the
else?
first place.
Well, there's
Because they just
speculation
used
that
AutoPen
it
for
was
everything.
meant to be.
So he didn't
Jamison
probably even know
Greer,
he hired
US
half the people because
trade
he maybe didn't hire half the
representative.
people.
At this point, it's just speculation.
That would explain.
There's
That would
no way to
explain it.
know. But what I kind of am curious about, why did JG leave the chat? I guess everybody that was on there got an alert. Oh, JG has left the group chat on Signal.
Oh, I didn't know that. I missed that. Okay, wow.
Yeah,
All right.
and so you got to stick around a little bit, see what else they're going to talk about. And I do think there's probably some level of, from the reporting about this, there is probably some level of jealousy from everybody else writing about this that they were not added.
Without question.
Well, that's interesting. Peter, thank you for moving the story. So Mike Waltz says, in speaking to him, he said, I have no idea how my phone number got into the contact info. If this is a government phone, so you're the national security advisor, and they say, hey, here's your phone. Guys, welcome to your first day. This is going to be the dress code. This is where the halls are. This is where this is what you're going to do. Here's where the men's room is. Do they hand you the government phone? And could someone else be loading your contacts? Like, I'm obviously loading my Signal contacts, but is somebody else, like a staffer, loading your contacts? And was that person confused? So maybe the trade rep. Why would the trade rep be in that? Well, just looking at the substance, kind of makes sense. Because what do they say? Only 3%. J.D. Vance in pushing back says only 3% of our commerce goes through there. Europe's got 40%. Why are we doing the work for Europe? So that's maybe why a trade rep might be in there.
Yeah.
But I'm not making excuses, just trying to piece it together.
And I said, first of all, I said from the very beginning, in the first hour, the Signal thing doesn't bother me.
That's true,
Them
you
using
said that.
Signal because they all use it. They do, and I'm glad. I didn't know there was official guidance to use Signal. I just know that this is the platform they do it because they find it to be secure. Number two, as it relates to the intelligence being shared back and forth, my question is, what is he talking about? Is he talking about just conversations? Because in order for maps and stuff, that
What up,
stuff
Epic
doesn't
Gamers Z?
leave. And with Signal,
We're just
you have to
reacting to some of the
download it
news
on your
that's going on
phone.
right now.
You can't get a map on
You could, but you can't get a military
were playing
map
Fortnite
unless
earlier.
You have a secretary or someone at a high level downloading stuff to their phone. They don't download.
Look at the rapidity of that
They don't do
exchange.
that. That's on. You can't even have the phone and that parts of the Pentagon. That's all on hardwire and all that type of. So I'm just not buying, maps and stuff of attacks. Now maybe they were having conversation to that point. The last point I'm going to make, and I just put a bow on it. I think Mike Waltz is known as a trusted ally of the president. I think if the president is furious this morning, he's furious about it being sloppy. He doesn't like sloppiness.
Don't
He
like
doesn't
sloppy. We're gonna get
giving the
fixed.
enemy
People make
more
mistakes.
ammunition. I don't think there was anything that was high level that was disclosed. A lot of the back and forth that we saw that was revealed there It's what we kind of expected in the public.
And Jeffrey Goldberg was very vague on that. He said operational
If you're just popping in,
details,
guys, we're
Jeffrey,
reacting
we
to
have a
different
reason
news
not to
stories that are
trust
going
your
on
reporting. I'd like
in
to
the
see
world.
hard footnotes to all of your reporting.
Well, the one thing that he did that was the right thing, he did not report on any of the stuff until way after it happened. So, you know, he didn't want to screw up the operational success of it, and apparently he did not. But now, and this is, you know, it'll be interesting to see where we are 24 hours from now. Because
Poke Collector says almost done with work. Nice.
A number of Trump
Poke Collector, what do you do? What do you do for work?
Pummeled over this. And, you know, about it being sloppy and
if you don't
how
mind
did
me
it
asking.
happen, and they're going to say, I don't know, and it's not a good thing.
No,
Right.
it's not.
I would say this. A source close to the president said Michael Waltz is safe. So that's, I think, important because you're looking at the Daily Mail and you're looking at Politico. You have people have a different story. And I just think that this is a story. It's also overwhelming. Don't overwhelm the fact that regardless of what you think, the operation was overwhelmingly successful. The message is also a message needs to be sent to Iran, and it also has to show Israel we got your back because they're lobbing rockets in there. So the process, the pushback, we shouldn't have seen it, obviously. But as we rip the cover off,
reporters just like
the
to
exchange
nitpick on
between
everything.
All sides. They're not all singing from the same hymn book.
They like to nitpick it all, you know? So much nitpicking. But they don't point out any of the good stuff that's been going on. None of the good stuff. News today. Let's see if we can find news today. Live news, world news. Testify before Senate. They're actually testifying? Like, is it going to be, there you go.
To shape a world favorable to its interests
and
hostile to ours. These methods include the biggest peacetime military buildup in history, rapidly expanding its nuclear forces, providing critical assistance to help Russia withstand U.S. sanctions, obscuring its role in accelerating the spread of COVID-19 beyond Wuhan, turning a blind eye to Chinese companies that
Makes
enable
sense,
the
man.
production of
I can
fentanyl
respect that,
flooding
Poe.
into the United States and putting
Lots of haters out
space
there.
weapons on orbit, among other tactics. Iran, despite setbacks inflicted
This video is on the
its so-called
Forbes breaking
access of
news
resistance
channel.
by Israel
Give
over
it a
last
like.
year, still aims to destroy what it calls the little Satan, the state of Israel, and what it calls the great Satan, the United States. It continues
USA.
to arm Yemeni rebels to attack global shipping, though these outlaws have suffered terrible losses over the last 2 weeks thanks to decisive action by President Trump and our brave troops. I commend the President, Mike Waltz, Pete Hegseth, and his entire national security team for these actions. Iran also continues its decades-long effort to develop surrogate networks inside the United States to threaten U.S. citizens. Furthermore, Iran's nuclear program continues apace. It's actively developing multiple space launch vehicles,
Everybody's developing space launch crap.
which are little more
Everybody.
than flimsy
Why?
cover for an intercontinental
You
ballistic
think
missile
we're going to go to Mars,
program
guys?
that could hit
Think Elon's
the
going to get
United
us to
States
Mars?
in a matter of years. But all this will soon come to an end. The supreme leader of Iran now faces a
They
stern
want to put
choice, thanks to President
someone
Trump.
on Mars by the
The
end of
supreme
Trump's
leader can
presidency.
fully dismantle his nuclear program, or
Do you think it's gonna
he can
happen?
have it dismantled for him. Finally, today's report also acknowledges that illicit drug production endangers the health and safety of millions of Americans. For the first time, the annual threat assessment lists foreign illicit drug actors as the very first threat to our country. As the report highlights, Mexican-based cartels.
But guys, we're going to wrap this stream up. I'm going to be back in like 5 to 10 minutes. We're probably going to be playing some video games. So if you want to sit tight, feel free to do so. And I will be back once I get everything set up. But yeah, we're going to play some video games, hang out, chat. I'm waiting for my pot roast to finish cooking. So I got some time to kill. But yeah, thanks for popping in. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that like button. Thank you for the comments, and I will be back momentarily. So yeah, sit tight. Refresh the page if you have to. And I will catch you in a bit. Until then, my name is Adam, and remember, keep counting the game on. Toodles!